Class 11, Melody Writing Part 2. So we start melody writing with a given motive question phrase, which is the antecedent. In order to do that, we have to find the key of the given question phrase. So we talked about this before. So to find the key, we first look at the key signature, check if there are accidentals, and then check the beginning note or the end note, because it's very possible it's a tonic, but not for sure, but it's very possible. And then you check the given phrase if the notes form a scale or a chord, or dominant triads, dominant seventh or diminished seventh chords of the major or minor key. Parallel period is the period with a similar second phrase. So this melody we heard last class. So here there is a stepwise motion, because this goes from F to G, this goes from G to F, and it's stepwise. It's just one step, and they're just like the opposite of each other. So yeah, the first phrase ends with a half cadence, and the second phrase ends with an authentic cadence. So the first one is the tonic to dominant, the second one is dominant to tonic. Contrasting period is when new melodic materials are used at the start of the second phrase. So in the first measure, it's the tonic, it's C major, so it's a tonic C major chord right over here. And then this is a G major, which is dominant. And then it's, well, this is a G, so it's the dominant one. And then it's the tonic again. And then it ends on the dominant. So this sounds like this. It ends on the dominant, which is an unstable scale degree, so it sounds unfinished. So method 1 for the consequent phrase retains the original rhythm with altered melodic intervals and underlying harmony. So the rhythm is still the same. So there are 3 quarter notes just like above, and then a dotted quarter note, and then an eighth note and a quarter note. And then over here it is a bit different, but it's like, so here there are 2 eighth notes, and then it's the same rhythm. And then there, yeah, and they the notes are changed up, so there are different melodic intervals, so it sounds like this. So it ends on the tonic, which makes it sound stable and finished. So this is method 2, but the first phrase is still the same as the first phrase in the previous slide. It sounds like this. Which ends on an unstable scale degree. Then for the consequent phrase, method 2, it retains the original rhythm. So the rhythm's still the same, and it has new melodic shape and direction. So in this first one, it goes up. In the second one, it goes down. And in the second measure of the first one, it goes down. But in the second measure of the second one, it goes up. Or in the consequent phrase, it goes up. And then over here, it's like the complete opposite. It's a step and then step up, and then, well, it's a step, and then it's a skip. And then over here in the first one, it's a skip and then a step. And this one, it ends on a C. It's a stepwise motion to C, which is a tonic, so it will sound stable and finished. So it sounds like this. Now method 3, so the question phrase is still the same as before. And the consequent phrase, or the answer phrase, it has contrasting rhythm. a contrasting rhythm, and a new motive repeated sequentially. So here there is a new motive, and there's also a new rhythm. This same motive repeats, but it's just one step higher than the first one. And then it's like a similar sequence, because the rhythm stays the same, but it's altered a bit to fit the authentic cadence at the end. So it sounds like this. Good melody writing. Melodies should imply or outline logical harmonic progression based on primary chord, tonic chord, subdominant chord, or dominant chord. When composing a contrasting period, it is best to maintain a harmonic rhythm in the consequent phrase similar to that established in the antecedent phrase, phrase. It's important to approach the final stable pitch with stepwise motion. Both periods, so over here, both periods have a similar harmonic rhythm, as the rhythm similar in bar 1 and 2 and 5 and 6, and in bar 4 and 8 they use one chord per bar. Like here's just one tonic chord and one tonic chord, one chord, like a tonic chord, and a dominant 7. Here it's also one chord, and in bar 3 and 7 there are 2 chords per bar. So this is an example of a poor melody writing. So the question phrase is still always the same as before, like this. And for the answer phrase, this one's a bad answer phrase. So there is a completely new rhythm, which is bad, and the melody lacks of coherence, so it doesn't even look the same, and like there's no motive. And then over here it ends on the second degree. It doesn't end on a stable pitch, and it's not a final cadence, and it's not an authentic or plagal cadence. So if you play this, it will sound very weird and bad. So first of all, these 16th notes and these notes don't even look the same, and it doesn't have a motive, so it would sound like this. Okay, I played that bad. Let's try it again. Yeah, so that sounded very weird, partly because I didn't play it well, but yeah. So this is an example of a poor melody writing. Now, melody writing in a minor key. Composers make use of all forms of the minor scale, natural, harmonic, and melodic, and often move freely between them. When using the harmonic minor scale, the leading tone, which is the 7th degree, is employed. This creates the augmented 2 interval between the 6th and the 7th. This dissonant interval is awkward to sing and it creates a distinctive sound that traditionally has been avoided in melody writing. So here, this example, this is an augmented 2, so I'm gonna play this. So that sounds kind of awkward, so we usually don't use augmented 2s or seconds in melody writing. So using the ascending melodic form with both the 6th and 7th degree raised, and the descending melodic form, which is actually a natural minor, is one way to avoid the augmented second. So if you do that, it would sound like which sounds much better than the previous one. And so it has a smoother sound, and if we go descending in the melodic or natural form, it sounds like So there's a raised 6th and 7th at the end, which sounds better. Composing a contrasting period based on two given measures. You will be asked to compose a contrasting period in a major or minor key with the first two measures given. The goal of the first phrase is to arrive at a half cadence, which is an unstable pitch. And the second phrase will provide contrasting material and will conclude with an authentic cadence, which is a stable pitch. In composing your melodies, consider the following approaches. 1. Use logic harmonic progressions by using the tonic, subdominant, and dominant chords decorated with non-chord tones, like neighbor tones or passing tones. 2. Employ sequential repetition of melodic patterns and rhythmic motives. 3. Write contrasting material for the second phrase.